Romanee-Conti was the last vineyard in Burgundy to be uprooted. It remained on its original vines until 1945. It's not a coincidence that recently one bottle of Romanee-Conti 45 reached absolutely astronomical price at auction, breaking the record of the most expensive wine at auction. Because of course it's Romanee-Conti, but also the production was extremely low, 2 barrels on 1.8 hectare of vineyards. So it was at the time it's a testimony of naturally a lost vineyard, but also how fragile and how low production and unsustainable it had become. In a way, the chemical treatments were useful because they enabled the owners to buy time. To explore that solution of grafting over, selecting the best plants, selecting cuttings from the traditional French vineyards, and selecting the most suited American rootstocks adapted to our soil here, full of limestone, and creating a variety of rootstocks, some vigorous, some less vigorous. So it was useful to really see and build experience to, in the end, also build confidence on that solution. Naturally, the mystique remains, the fact that it's a kind of fantasy. What would be the wine today without the filter of so to speak, of the American rootstock? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. But one can say that even if there is this kind of feeling of a lost era, the main thing has been preserved, and the quality and the tradition has been preserved. Another big consequence of phylloxera was the change of landscape. Before that era, vineyards were not really replanted. What was all needed to do was simply to put a cane back into the ground. It would grow roots and grow a new plant, and that was very easy. And as a consequence, the density of the vineyards was even higher than today. 10,000 vines per hectare, which is quite high already and quite specific to Burgundy, but it was probably double or even more at the time. And when the vineyards were replanted, rows were established, which enabled a first mechanization of these vineyards. Before that, everything was done by hand, and the plowing was done by hand by vintners, and you can imagine how much work it represented. And having these rows and decreasing the density of the vineyards enabled a horse to go inside of the rows and plow and lay the grounds for modern viticulture.